Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the wonderful world of TaleGate Theatre pantomimes. Turn off your mobile phones, don't rustle your sweets, and get ready to make some noise. It's time to cheer for the good and boo for the bad. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
A very special episode of Saturday Morning TV. This is our VE Day special.
We're gonna hang out the washing on the Z3 line. Have you any dirty washing, mother dear? We're gonna hang out the washing on the Z3 line, 'cause the washing day is here.
VE Day is short for Victory in Europe Day. It celebrates the end of World War II on the 8th of May, 1945. It was met with huge celebrations across the country. Every street you walked down was filled with street parties, food and bunting. This year marks the 75th anniversary of VE Day, and we had to celebrate slightly differently. Uncle Phil, Dottie and I had our own household street party in the garden. It was fabulous. I sorted out the buffet. I did. You've heard of cordon bleu? Yeah, well, this should have been cordoned off. I can't cook. Last time I tried, I burned the salad. Uncle Phil tried to reassure me by saying it's the best food he'd ever seen. I mean, how can a million flies be wrong? And I did those fabulous things on sticks. Pensioners. Here, 3 cheers for the pensioners. Hip, hip. Replacement. And there was soup. Can you guess what kind of soup? Chicken? No. Minestrone. Wasn't very helpful, you see. I can't do an impression of a minestrone. Oh, and we've got bunting. We all need bunting, don't we? Well, it just so happens that I've got my magic bunting bag here, and I can make any kind of bunting appear. Now, you'll see that in my bag there is absolutely nothing at the moment, is there? Well, if we all wave our magic hands, boys and girls, can you all do that? Come on, let's see those magic fingers. That's it, very good. And say, a-bish, a-bash, a-bosh. And in my bag, we will find lots and lots of lovely, lovely bunting. Right, I'll busy myself and hang up this bunting while you all get in the mood and hear a lovely song from Miss Bethan.
You've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In-Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, otherwise pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they say when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In-Between. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between. Listen to me, children, and you will hear about the eliminating of the negative and the accent on the positive. Gather round me, children, if you're willing, and sit tight while we start reviewing the attitude of doing right. You've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In-Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum. Bring gloom down to the minimum. Otherwise, pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they say when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between.
An uplifting Andrew Sisters tune from Miss Bethan. Isn't life better with bunting? We've had these two sent in to us from Seren, age 10, and Cariad, age 9. The rest was provided by the wonderful Malcolm. Now, World War II was a time similar to what we're doing now, where the entire country had to come together and work for a single effort. With men out to war, it was finally an opportunity for women to break the mould and work in industries they had never been able to before. One of these was the Women's Land Army, working on farms across the UK. Did you know TaleGate Theatre don't just do pantomimes? We have been lucky to work on many historical and educational projects across the UK. In 2018, we brought a short story by Elizabeth Carney Marsh to life. Bonnets to Breeches was a story of one young woman's journey from London to Clumber Park in Nottinghamshire to train with the WLA. With Liz, Bassetlaw District Council, North Knotsbid, Sean at Sounds Technical and Clumber Park, we created an immersive walk-around performance to encapsulate life in the WLA.
I'd never been out of London before. I was going north to Nottinghamshire, Clumber Park to be exact, the home of dukes, and now the home of a new fighting force, the Women's Land Army.
We need a more upbeat version. If you want to go to heaven when you die, wear a pair of cocky breeches and a tie. Wear an old felt bonnet with WLA on it if you want to go to heaven.
Even though I was exhausted at the end of every day, I still wrote home several times a week. I wondered how my parents were doing. I wondered if they even got my letters, or maybe they were too busy to reply. I wonder if they even read them at all. Well, deep down, I knew I'd disappointed them, when all I ever wanted to do was make them proud like my brothers had done. So even though there weren't any replies, I still looked out for news from Mr. Dawes every time he returned from town. But every time he'd shake his head and say,
"Not today, Miss Clara." Right, you pair. It's been a couple of months now, and well, you've been trust folk, and as you know, with the boys at war, we're short-handed in the Wall's Kitchen Garden, so well, Mr. Barker would like to see you.
what? The Mr. Barker?
No, another Mr. Barker.
Oh, that's all right then. Oh, there's only one Mr. Barker, sissy, thank goodness.
There is only one, and you don't want to be late for him. Come along, you two.
I fell in love with Clumber instantly. Part of me felt incredibly guilty for the elation in my heart, knowing that Teddy was out there somewhere and that Harry and Sid would never again feel the sun upon their faces. I miss my brothers dearly.
Clara! Clara!
What? Devil!
Clara! Excuse me, sorry, Clara! Clara! Clara, is it? What's going on?
I've just had a telegram from Ma and Pa. Clara, Papa's been hit.
Stephanie?
No, planes with bombs, Clara, in broad daylight. Up at North Street School, all the children, all the buildings around. The pharmacy was hit, Clara. Your mother and father. I'm so sorry.
I did the only thing I knew that would help after that day. I put on my uniform, walked into the garden, and placed my hands in the soil.
time we'll continue the theme of Dig for Victory with the enormous turnip, a ladybird first favourite tale retold by Irene Yates, illustrated by Jan Lewis. Once a man came out of his garden with his turnip seeds and his hoe. He dug and he delved and he set his seeds in a row. He cared for the seeds and watered them well, and the turnip seeds began to swell. In a very few days came little green leaves. They poked and they pushed and they pointed. The man with his hoe rolled up his sleeves. "That's a weed." He plucked out the weeds and raked off the rubble. He didn't know there was gonna be trouble. At last the turnips began to grow. They got bigger and bigger and bigger. And the man with the hoe said, "So, we'll have turnips for breakfast and lunch and for tea. And it's turnips for supper too, thanks to me." One of the turnips, the best of the lot, began to take over the whole of his plot. Look at that one. It grew bigger and bigger every day. It was huge. It was vast. It was enormous. The other poor turnips got out of its way. The man was baffled. But he kept on hoeing, and the enormous turnip kept on growing. The man thought it must be time at last to pull the turnip, but it stuck fast. "Come and help heave," called the man to his wife. The man pulled the turnip, and his wife pulled the man, but the enormous turnip wouldn't budge. "Heave! Come and help heave," called the wife to a boy. Then the man pulled the turnip, the wife pulled the man, and the boy pulled the wife. All together! But the enormous turnip just wouldn't budge. "Come and help heave," called the boy to a girl. And the man pulled the turnip, the wife pulled the man, the boy pulled the wife, and the girl pulled the boy. But the enormous turnip just wouldn't budge. "Come and help heave," called the girl to a dog. Woof! Then the man pulled the turnip, the wife pulled the man, the boy pulled the wife, the girl pulled the boy, the dog pulled the girl. But the enormous turnip just wouldn't budge. "Come and help heave," called the dog to a cat. The man pulled the turnip, the wife pulled the man, the boy pulled the wife, the girl pulled the boy, the dog pulled the girl, the cat pulled the dog. But the enormous turnip just wouldn't budge. "Come and help heave," called the cat to a mouse. The man pulled the turnip, the wife pulled the man, the boy pulled the wife, the girl pulled the boy, the dog pulled the girl, the cat pulled the dog, and the mouse pulled the cat. And the enormous turnip shot right out with a thud and a thwack and a thump, and they all fell back with a bump, bump, bump. Then it was turnip for breakfast, and lunch, and for tea, and turnip for supper, and dearie me, the turnip's so good that they can't get their fill, and it's just so enormous they're eating it still. Fabulous. I love turnip in a stew. All of the country worked to fight the enemies on land, air and sea. The Army, RAF and Navy worked tirelessly in their efforts. Wonder what we would be like in the Navy. Sounds like a song.
They want you, they want you, they want you as new recruits.
If you want a danger, don't you wait to enter. The recruiting office best.
Don't you hesitate, there is no need to wait. There's got
just game, but don't you worry about a thing. Over and shoulder will be always a good Navy, protecting the land and sea.
In the Navy,
Yes, you can sail the seven seas.
in the Navy,
Yes, you can put your mind at ease.
I need a shaving.
Come on now, people, make a stand.
Going crazy, my
Cause
hands
it's
is
steering in
waving.
the
In
hand.
the Navy,
Come on, protect the motherland.
still in the Navy,
Come on now, join your fellow man.
I leave the Navy.
Come on, people, we make a stand.
In the Navy, in the Navy. On all hands on deck. Not hands on deck, all hands on deck.
Wouldn't mind getting my hands on deck, he's gorgeous.
No, all hands on the deck.
Well, this is a bit silly.
No, not your hands on the deck. All hands on. Oh, forget it. Men number. Stop. What are you doing?
We're dancing like you asked.
I said number, not rumba. Oh, isn't he mean on the end?
Yes, he does look a bit mean.
Yes, and he's got a lumpy jumper.
A lumpy jumper? That's Tom the cabin boy.
Is it? Oi, Tom, get down from up there. What are you doing up there, Tom?
What are you doing? There's nobody up his jumper.
You said it was Tom the cabin boy.
No, that is Tom the cabin boy.
Oh, are you a Tom?
No, he's here. I can see him.
Oh, that's a Yorkshire joke, isn't it? Look, never mind who's our Tom and who's here. Get your mops. Right. Men, shoulder, arm. What are you doing?
Well, you said shoulder arm, so I'm putting my arm on his shoulder.
Well, that's not how you shoulder arm. Pick up your mops. Now, when I say shoulder arm, I want you to go ha-1, 2, ha-2, 2, and throw them over your shoulder.
Oh, that's easy. We can do that.
Men, shoulder, arm.
1, 2, 2, a 2, 2, 2, and throw them over your shoulder.
What? No, that's not what I mean. Pick those up right over. No, when I say throw them over your shoulder, I don't mean throw them over your shoulder. I mean throw them over your shoulder. Not this shoulder here. What? No! Don't throw them over my shoulder! Pick them up. Come on, pick these mops up this instant. Get this one out. I'll get it. Oh!
Oh, sorry. Lucky it was the soft end, not that end.
Are you finished?
No, I'm English.
Right. I'd like to see some nice, smart marching.
Yeah, that'd be good. Oh, sorry, Captain.
You know what you're doing?
Oh, I turned around. Oh, sorry. What did you say?
I'd like to see some nice, smart marching.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Oh, if we can. Men on the left. Bye, boys and girls.
I am sure that Army and Navy drills are much more organised than that. Now, we have got a very, very special birthday shout-out this week. This week, Captain Tom, who has raised over £20 million for the NHS, turned 100. So I'm hoping you'll all join me in a rendition of Happy Birthday. Ready? Thank you so much, Captain Tom, for everything you've done throughout your life for our country. This week's challenge comes from Miss Justine to get you in the mood. Ba-da-da-da, in the mood. Ba-da-dee-dee.
Today we're going to do a dance. So we're going to learn 6 moves and put them all together. Okay? So move number 1 is a twist walk. So you walk on the spot and you twist your feet. That's brilliant. Okay, and we do 8 of those. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Move number 2 is a flick change. So you flick
and change. Flick, change. Flick, change, flick, change. And we do 4 of those. So 8 twists, 4 flicks. Okay, shall we have a go? Let's do it. Let's go. And twist. And flick. Brilliant. Let's do that one more time. Here we go. Ready? And twist. And flick. Very good. So move number 3 is jump and shake. So we do 3 little jumps this way. 1, 2, 3. And 3 this way. 1, 2, 3. And we shake our hands like this. Okay, so it goes 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And move number 4 is called tap your foot. So you need to pretend your knees are tied together, and we're going to hit our foot 2 times on this side and 2 times on this side. So it goes 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so let's do moves 3 and 4. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Tap your foot, tap your foot. Brilliant. Shall we put all 4 moves together? Yeah. Okay. And twist. Flick. Jump and shake. Tap your foot. Wow. Okay, so we've only got 2 moves left. How exciting is that? So, move 5 is going to be a slide. So we're going to do a big slide this way and a big slide this way, and open your arms and make yourselves as wide as you can. Okay, so we go slide, and then move number 6. We're going to cross this foot over, turn around and point at your audience. Okay, so let's do 5 and 6. So we've got slide and turn and point. Okay, I think it's time to put all 6 together. Let's do it. Go everyone, ready and twist. Flip, jump and shake. Tap your foot. Okay, so we've got all our moves now. So now I think it's time for our performance, don't you? So we're going to dance it 2 times. So once you've finished here, we're going to start again. Okay, are we ready? Let's do it, everyone! Okay, last time. Here we go. Ready and twist. And flick. Jump and shake. Tap your foot. Slide. And turn. Start again. Twist. And flick. Jump and shake. Tap your foot. Slide. And turn around. And point. That was fantastic, everybody. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. See you later.
Thank you, Miss Justine. And if you want more dancing, do check out the Live at 5 that Miss Justine presents over at Lisa Gale Theatre Academy. Now, do send in those videos and I'll show off the compilation next week of you lot in the mood. To continue the party, it's sing-along time, and across the country they would have a wonderful celebration and roll out the barrel.
Roll out the barrel, we'll have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel, we've got the blues on the run. Sing blue torero, bring out a song of good cheer. Now's the time to roll the barrel.
sun. Sing blue torero, bring out a song of good cheer. Now's the time to roll the barrel for the gangs all here.
And that's the end of this week's VE Day special. Thank you so much. I would like to end this week's episode with the words of Winston Churchill, which matter as much today as they did then. My dear friends, this is your hour. This is not victory of a party or of any class. It's a victory of the great British nation as a whole. There we stood, alone. Did anyone want to give in? Were we downhearted? The lights went out and the bombs came down, but every man, woman and child in the country had no thought of quitting the struggle. I say that in the long years to come, not only will the people of this island, but of the world, whenever the bird of freedom chirps in human hearts, look back to what we've done, and they will say, do not despair. Do not yield to violence or tyranny. March straight forward. See you next week, loves. Bye!
Good night, sweetheart. Sleep well,